Chronological Bible in a Year Reading Plan, Day 80. Chronological Bible in a Year Reading Plan, Day 80. Today we are in Deuteronomy 31 and 32. We're going to wrap it up tomorrow. And this section ended with a bit of a downer. We know that Moses is going to be dying very soon, handing the reins over to Joshua. But in this last section, he tells the people essentially, I know you're going to rebel. You've disobeyed in my presence. Just wait till you see what happens in my absence. And that's why it is so important that you remember all of these words. He gives them the command to read them every 7 years. But even before that, God makes an amazing pronouncement. Starting in verse 14, God tells them, "The message is very near to you. It is in your mouth and in your heart, so that you may follow it." Starting in verse 15, "See, today I have set before you life and prosperity, death and adversity." He repeats this a few times, and he reminds them multiple times to choose life. You are standing at a crossroads. One way leads to life, one way leads to death. One way has peaks and valleys, difficulties and triumphs. The other way is easy and simple underfoot. The hard way is life. The simple way is death. Which will you choose? I'm studying, and I'll talk a bit more about this, I believe, in tomorrow's video, but I'm currently studying Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God by Jonathan Edwards. And it is fascinating the way he reminds us the reality of hell in light of the mercy of God. And here we see Moses not telling them about hell, but telling them about hell on earth, if you will. Your life will become a living hell if you don't do the hard things, if you don't obey, follow, and live for God. And life and culture has changed drastically, but culture is still in opposition to us. So how can we live for God? I would love to hear some stories. Maybe you can encourage one another. I would love to hear some stories. Let's encourage one another in the comments. How have you seen where you've had to make a cultural sacrifice for the sake of the gospel? And how have you seen God bless you through that? Maybe it was a blessing of peace. Maybe it was a blessing in relationships. Maybe it was a blessing in simply growing more like Christ. But how have you seen God work through those sacrifices? I'm looking forward to wrapping this book up tomorrow and hopping into a psalm. But until then, God bless.